Social media has changed the world of music in a massive way. From discovering music from people who you would have never found before, to networking to help you create a full-time music career, learning how to grasp social media to work for you as a musician is extremely vital in today's music industry. I have used social media for years now to share experiences and insight that has led me to many open doors for my career. So today I want to share with you my strategies and how I record audio and video when playing live gigs, studio style recordings, and how I shoot my horizontal content here on YouTube and vertically on Instagram to help you succeed on social media as a musician. So I will tell you, this video will be a little bit of a deep dive, and some of this information you may already know. So I make chapter markers throughout the entire video so you can go to the things that you don't know and skip the things that you already do know. But if you are someone who has never recorded on social media as a musician, definitely watch this entire video all the way through, because the techniques and solutions that I share in this video will help you in almost every situation you will encounter as a musician. So the first question you need to ask yourself is, why? Why do we want to make content on social media? Now, this may seem like a very simple question, but the answer to this question will determine the direction and strategy you need to take on social media. Now, there are three common reasons most musicians post on social media. First is to get more opportunities. Now, what I mean by opportunities is to post content that would potentially get you more gigs as a musician. So content showcasing you playing live at an event or showing your creativity by rearranging a popular song. This is the kind of content that is great for getting open doors of opportunity. Now, the second reason is to help you improve your skill, or what I call public accountability. At the beginning of my career on social media, I started out posting clips of me playing covers of some of my favorite songs at the time. But what I didn't realize is that when I started to play licks and bass lines that I use all the time live and repeated them on social media, people started calling me out in the comments saying, "Hey, you've played that lick before." At the time, it seemed like people were just being trolls, but what they were actually doing was keeping me accountable for my growth as a musician, because I always had to bring something new to the table when I posted a video. So if you are someone who is just trying to grow fast as a musician and don't have anyone around you who is keeping you accountable, use social media as your public accountability partner for your musical growth. Now, the last of these reasons is to create an online presence to fuel your business. This is probably the most involved one, but can be the most lucrative over time. Using social media in this context is where you use it as a funnel to push people to a website or sell a product that you are creating. This is a great way of creating supplemental income to your career as a musician outside of just the gigs that you play. This whole point could be its own video, so if you guys are interested in me doing a deeper dive into this topic, please let me know in the comments below. So the next parts of this video, I'm gonna be showing you my studio here in Nashville and just kind of showing you how I do things in a controlled environment. And then I'm gonna be taking you on the gig with me and show you how I do things in a live or uncontrolled environment. Now, one thing I skipped past whenever I was learning how to do social media was this point, is that audio is just as important as video, especially as musicians. People will determine the video quality by the audio more than just the video quality. If you can get great audio first, that will take you way further than if you had good video and bad audio quality. People can only watch so long if you have bad audio quality, and will most likely click off extremely fast if the audio doesn't improve quickly. All right, so we are in my studio. I just want to show you some of the equipment that you can use and that I've used over the years. And it really doesn't have to be expensive equipment. It's just certain aspects and certain pieces of equipment that you need just to get started in recording at the studio. So the first thing is, to get good audio, you need a good microphone, like some type of shotgun microphone, which this is a Rode NTG3, which is not a cheap microphone. This is probably about like a $700 microphone, but I just got this a few months ago. And honestly, the one that I've used for literally most of my time here in YouTube is this guy right here. It's a Audio-Technica AT875R. And honestly, this is like maybe like 120 bucks or something like that. And I've made it work and I've gotten pretty great audio from it. even though it's like a cheaper microphone. Now the next thing you're gonna need when it comes to just recording separately with a, a shotgun mic or anything like that is an audio interface. Now I'm using right now this Apollo X4 by Universal Audio. Not the cheapest interface. I just got this maybe like a couple of months ago. So what I've actually used most of the time is something like this right here, which is just like a little Audio Box Go. But this is just like a 2-channel interface. But actually what I've used is a Focusrite. But this is just pretty much the same kind of vibe. It's got 2 channels, a mic in or whatever. This is less, I think this is like 70 bucks or something like that. I'll link this all in the description below. But the key is once you have those components, then you record your audio through that while you're recording, like through your computer or through your phone, and then record your camera separately, like I was saying. So basically what I do is when I put my mic up here, so you see I'm just bringing it now into the frame. A lot of times people like to put it in like at the mouth, like directing it towards your mouth. But the key is because I move around a lot when I'm doing these type of videos, and I don't stay in one location. So the key is to point it at your chest, and you'll have a more even and like crisper sound when it comes to recording. So if you're moving or anything like that, it all sounds the same. It doesn't sound like you're moving away from the mic or anything like that. So that's a huge thing when it comes to mic placement when you're in the studio. Oh, and also have your mic as close as you could possibly get it without being in the frame. So watch this. So I'm just gonna bring it down, bring it down, bring it. Oh, it started to be in the frame. So I'm just gonna take it out just a little bit. Just barely there. Watch this. This is where it is. This is how close it is. That close. Like it's just literally right there. If you get it the closest to you, you're gonna get the best audio from it. If you have it really far away, it's gonna sound like it's far away. So you want it to be as close as possible to you when you're recording. Now there are 2 common ways of recording, which is to record audio and video separately and audio and video synonymously. Audio and video separately is where you record your audio and your video in separate sources. So like one from your camera and then one from some type of audio recorder. But what this means is that you will have to sync them after you record because they're not going to be automatically synced. So one thing I always do to sync this up, because you can sync up all these different things in a video software. Video softwares now pretty much all come with a way of automatically syncing your audio and video together when you put it in the software. But one way to help it to sync easier is to hit your instrument like 3 or 4 times before you actually get to it. If you're doing a cover, do it before the song starts. And what will happen is that your mic from your camera will pick up part of it, or your phone, and then your audio that's being recorded to your computer will also pick it up. And so you'll have these 3 or 4 common hits that's easier for the software to sync to versus randomly trying to figure out, oh, this bass part kind of matches the song, or this instrument part kind of matches the song. Now, when you record audio and video synonymously, that just means that you're recording it together to where it's automatically synced as you're recording the video. So this is when people have something connected directly to their camera or anything like that. There's a couple of ways you can do this. This is a couple of ways that I've personally done it. I know there's more ways. I've seen other people do it in other ways, but I'm just gonna show you the ones I'm experienced with. One is using an iRig. One specifically that is really, really dope, but it really, really helps when it comes to recording with a camera because you can use an external battery source or batteries just in the back of it. And what this is a audio interface for like a phone. You can use it for your phone, camera, anything like that. It's just a mobile audio interface. Now this has 4 inputs, and also I think it has like 2 XLR outputs, line outs, and then like a couple of more things like it has, phantom power, different things like that. And it's really, really a great catch-all when it comes to just traveling with a interface. And so a lot of times what I do when I'm here in the studio is that I would hook this directly into my camera through a little 1/8" cable that's made for the camera. I can't think of what the exact cable is, but it has a little out right here, like a headphone out, that I go out from this into my camera. and then I just plug in my microphone, my shotgun mic, into here and send phantom power. And so it's ready to go, and then when I'm done, it's already like synced up and ready to go. When recording as a musician, there are two types of environments you will most likely be recording in, which is studio, or a controlled environment, and live, or an uncontrolled environment. A controlled or studio environment is where you can dial in everything you do and get it absolutely perfect. This is where you can control everything in your environment when you are shooting your video. All right, now the next part of this that seems a little extra, but is very, very vital, is getting the right angle in your room, finding the best spot in your room. And this is very, very simple concept. I used to do my videos where it was just a plain wall with doors behind me. And that was like my bathroom door in my office and everything, this same office. And it was just like, my wife used to be like, man, your background set looks all, like rough. And then also I had a trash can in the shot, and like, it was just like stuff that wasn't really appealing. Now I have a little bit more of an appealing shot because I have plants, a picture frame, my logo, some guitars, and different things that are helping add to the quality of the image. Because sometimes it's not about the quality of your camera or phone, it's about just where you place your camera. If you place it in a spot that's interesting, people are gonna think it's interesting. If you place it in a spot that's not interesting, then people are just not gonna think it's good. They're just gonna be like, oh, this guy's just like in his garage or something, Just think about that whenever you're doing it. Shooting in a living room is great. Shooting in a place that has a little bit more of like a homey feel is great. So just note that as you're shooting your videos. Now, a big one here that I've learned about, I feel like I've learned more about this in my years of YouTube than ever, but it's having good lighting. Okay, right now you see this light that's on my face. It looks pretty good. I have like a little shadow under my face, which if you ever have a shadow under your face like this, it makes you look slimmer. It looks like you lost some weight or something like that. But this was something that I've learned when it comes to lighting, having a soft source and just like a good video light. Up until 3 months ago, I have had a $30 video light. The thing is, you don't have to start off with anything crazy expensive. I did that up over 100,000, subscribers just with a video light that was like 20, 30 bucks, okay? But now what I continuously use is this Amaran 200XS, and I have a newer softbox. It's an 85mm softbox, and it's just pointed at me at like a 45-degree angle. Just getting a good light right here on your face is very, very crucial, because that can be the biggest thing when it comes to just getting really high quality shots. Now, if you don't have a light, this is a great way of doing it. Open your window, shoot by the window. So right here, I have no lights right now, but all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna open my window, okay? Now I may have to change some of my settings because the light is a little bit brighter, but this is a great option if you don't have anything, okay? Like, I'm overexposed right now, so I'm looking really bright. But if you just change down your exposure a little bit, let me just do that real quick. Look at that. It's actually not that bad. So that's just me changing my exposure a little bit. Now it's a great light even when you don't have a light, it's just a window. All right, now let's go on the gig and see how to do this in a live setting or in uncontrolled environments. All right, so I am at a church conference here in Memphis, Tennessee. I was gonna try to show you guys a little bit of how I record my audio and just video when I'm live streaming. But I'm gonna try to give you a little rundown. I've given a rundown before when it comes to my IG setup, but I wanna give you an official setup how I've been doing it here recently. I have this cable, which is because in most church situations you have like a monitor, right, like this, where you can control like different channels, different things like that. A lot of different ones. And so what I do is I have this cable that I use on pretty much any, it doesn't matter if it's this system or another system, but this is an extension, or what we call a vlog cable. And it splits out, you see it has two things that splits out from this one headphone signal. It goes from that to one side is a headphone cable for your eighth inch headphone for your ears. And then the other side is this 1/4 inch cable for that you can send to like an interface. It could be an iRig or your computer, but I use this iRig right here. I've been using recently. This is iRig HDX, which is just like an interface for your phone. Let me get this in focus. Yeah, it's like less. It's like $100 and something dollars, something like that. It's super like cheap. It's USB powered, but it sounds great. Easy to carry with you. It's not like battery powered or anything. It even has like a headphone out on the top, so you can hook your headphones up to it. So I practice with this and also use this for my live stream. And what's cool is that it lets you know, like this one, your volume right here, but it lets you know when it peaks, like volume wise, which keeps me from getting bad audio. Because a lot of times, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of times I hear other people's mixes, and the biggest thing that I always notice is that they're like, their mixes are overdriven and like it's peaking really bad. But a lot of these interfaces and stuff, especially like the really cheap ones, they don't let you know when you're peaking. So that's the secret to this one, is with these iRig ones, a lot of them have these lights that let you know, hey, you're sending too much volume, so it's going to distort and sound bad. So that's what I think has been my secret weapon for all the years now that I've been doing this. And so what I do is I have this, it's going from here to my phone, which I think is like a lightning bolt or lightning adapter or something like that, lightning cable. But if you have a USB-C, it comes with a USB-C one as well. So if I go and like start my camera and I go to video, anytime I record video or anything like that, it's gonna activate this to get the audio from here instead of just from the regular mic here. Then also when I go to Instagram and I go live, and so when I hit this button here to go live on Instagram, it activates this to go and get the audio from here instead of from your phone. So just know that when you do it, it may not work right here, but when you hit live, this will turn on and it'll be working fine. So, and I also have this little tripod here sometimes I use, which is actually a friend of mine's, but I have one like this as well. But this one was just easy, I just had it in my bag. But it doesn't matter what you use as long as you can get the shot. Let me let you see what this looks like from this side. See, I've got my camera. You can see me in there. Just when you're thinking about shooting or going live or anything like that, think about all these little things. All of them add up, even if it's just like, you know, getting the right angle, you know, getting, you know, the right audio. It makes a huge, huge difference, especially when you're trying to stand out on social media, capture. So now there are a few ways you can get audio, and this is probably the part that took me the longest to figure out. There's never going to be a perfect situation unless you're using the same exact gear with the same exact people every single time. Whatever way you get audio, make it as easy as possible for your either monitor engineer or front of house engineer. But what I'm doing is basically on most every, I think, transmitter from like your wireless inner unit, they have them like in a rack looking thing, and I'll show you, just like a rack unit. Almost all of them always have some type of hardwire output for headphones, like for you to record like just a wired output. And so what I've learned over the years is like, okay, this is easy, because all I'm going to do is try to get my mix right in my ears, and I could just record it using my phone, iRig, or some type of recorder straight from the transmitter that's going, you know, my headphones are going to. So hopefully this is not too technical, but basically all you do is where you see the headphones on the unit, just be like, hey, ask the monitor engineer to be like, hey, can I put a recorder just for this headphone output? And probably 9 times out of 10, they're gonna be like, yeah, because they don't have to do anything. All they have to do is just do your mix and nothing changes for them. You just, you know, set your level and do your thing. We're on the gig here in Rapid City, South Dakota, and doing a gig, getting some content, different things like that. It's a festival. And so a lot of times when you're doing festivals, it's like really run and gun, like you don't really have a lot of time to check things, and especially if you're not like the headliner artist and stuff. So kind of going through using a couple of different things. You probably see this little guy right here on me, which is a Insta360 Go 3S. Basically it's a a little camera, probably one of the smallest cameras, about the size of my thumb. I'm doing like a POV video for some content on the channel, and then also running it on my like bass neck. I'm trying to do like a bass neck shot, which I'll show you guys in a second. And then pretty much I'm going to use this 360 camera, which is, it says 360 X4, to capture a second shot, which is this guy right here. And I'll have all this linked in the description below. It's from B&H. Definitely check out B&H. They got some great stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'll put this on like a little tripod, and I'm just going to have it on the ground somewhere, or maybe up front, like towards the top front of stage or something like that, to catch some moments, like a 360 kind of view of the whole thing. The X4 that I'm using is a real easy one, because all you have to do is just sit it and it gets like a 360 view of everything. And so you can reframe it after the fact. Now this one is a little bit different. I mean, it's still, you have a free frame mode that's really dope, but it's not a 360 camera, but you can get some really, really cool shots with it. And right now I got like this little pendant, this magnetic pendant that's on. That's the reason why it's attaching right here, if you're wondering. I'm not a cyborg or anything. Usually when I'm doing this kind of thing, I try to, like, because this is my job, you want to make sure you're not focused on your recording more so than the gig itself or the opportunity or music thing you're playing. And so what I try to do is I prepped before I came here, checked out and tested the cameras before I got to the gig today. And there's still some things I'm just testing out of sound check. This is the time you do all your tests. And so I tested all my shots I want to try. And so I'm going to go back to the hotel and see if they look good, and see if I like the shots, see if I want to change anything. This is the time to do it, not whenever you do the gig. That shouldn't be the first time you're using your camera. So that's kind of like the whole vibe and kind of the whole idea of all this, is just making sure you're not like taking your time and attention away from what you're actually there to do. I just want to be able to focus on the music in the moment and not have to touch anything, any cameras or anything like that. So let's go take a look at the footage I got from rehearsal and see what it looks like. All right, so we just got back here to the hotel, and I'm going to take a look at this footage and just kind of see, and this is part of my process, is after I do my sound check and after I do, rehearsal, whatever it is, I go back and I look at the footage and just see what it looks like, if I like the shots, if the angle's good. And this is just part of it, and this is a big thing that I don't think many people do. And it's really, really simple. Just look at it and see, is this actually good or cool, or is it, it's not that good, So this helps you to determine, okay, what do I need to change? Is the audio sound okay? All these different things, okay. Now I was using two Insta360 cameras, the X4 and the Go 3S. And so there's a software that they allow for you to have that is really cool, that integrates with their cameras really awesomely. I don't know if that's a word. It really, really integrates well, because what you can do is, one thing with the, the Go 3S, which is this guy right here that I've been, had on my chest and everything, is that you can do this mode called free frame mode. And so you can do it to where it's like you can reframe it in the like after in post, versus having to worry about, okay, is it going to be vertical or is it going to be horizontal? You don't have to worry about that. And also the X4, which is this one, the 360 camera, it also allows you to do it in post, but even more extreme, because it's got everything in a 360 radius, so you can really, really get whatever frame you want to, and it has tracking. It's super, super cool. This is the 360 shot. This is what it looks like in the Insta360 Studio. You can see it's got a shot of, the stage. You got the drummer Jeff over here. And then what's really cool, watch this. I'm just gonna click and move it, and you can see everything in the 360 like radius. You've got our guy Simon, MD. You got me over here, production. That's Derek. All the different things. You got the entire stage, literally the entire stage, and I just put it in just one area. And this is what's really cool, is I could reframe this to whatever I want to. Now watch this. So let's say I wanted to change this to a reel form, like something like for Instagram or YouTube short. What I'm gonna do is change this from 16:9 to 9:16. And now I've got this frame for a reel, and I can get it in the right place. I can even zoom in a little bit more. I can frame it right there. If I wanted to get a crazy moment, if Simon said something, I could go to him and frame it right there.
If Jeff hit a crazy chop or something, I could just go there, frame him. Or if even the artist was doing something crazy up here, or the audience was doing something crazy, you could just have it right there on him as well. And so that's what's so cool about this. So this is what's so cool about Insta360 cameras, is that you have this software, especially this is the X4 that I'm using right here. So what this tells me right now is that I think this shot will be really cool. So the other one, which is gonna be the Go 3S, this is my POV shot. That's how I want to see. So I'm walking around, this is where it's on my chest. And so you can kind of see just the whole vibe of where it is and everything. Now, this one you can't move it around like you can with the 360, but it's cool to just kind of see the perspective. So now let's look at the other shot when I have it attached to the headstock of the base. Yeah, that's super cool. That actually looks sick. But now you can see how it looks as I'm moving the wireless. I think I maybe tilt it up a little bit more. Yeah, so I tilted it up a little bit more here, so you can see my face a little bit more. I kind of like that a lot more. I actually think this is a big game changer camera. The Go 3S is a huge game changer in my opinion, especially if you're a musician. You can clip it and get really creative shots. Now, if you want something that you really don't have to think about in the moment at all, the X4, definitely a great purchase for a musician. If you just want to sit in one place and think about it later, totally feel free to do that. I think that's a great purchase as well. And if you're just like someone who wants to do that plus, do maybe YouTube content, things like that, I would get a camera like this, which is my A6600. You could probably get the A6700. It's got better features, a little newer, but this one's still a great camera. I still use it on all of my YouTube videos.
When it comes to being a musician, the one aspect that most musicians don't have is high quality. Most musicians, when you see online, what do you see? You always see some type of front camera of an iPhone, and it's just kind of not great quality. It's not, a great shot. It's just a shot of the back of them. It's not really showing their hands or any. There's a lot of different things. And so if you want to stand out as a musician, bring up your quality of video and bring up your quality of audio, because when you start doing this, it elevates you to a place that not most people are, because when you're doing this on social media, your biggest thing is what? To stand out. And so the way you can stand out as a musician is bringing high quality and great audio to your story, and also just great editing and just finding different ways of showcasing that when you're going through it. Now, I know today's video was a very informative video, and so if you guys need to go back through and just like take one aspect of this and add it, do that, because this is the thing, all of this information was stuff that wasn't taught to me. I just learned from experience and making the mistakes, and I don't want you guys to have to make those mistakes as well. If you want to just take pieces of this and use it towards your social media so you can get what you want out of social media, do it, because this is the thing. The huge key here is that you have to be willing to do the things that nobody else is willing to do to get the kind of success that nobody else has. So if you're wanting to push yourself on social media, take the time, learn the discipline, and you will succeed. If this video has helped you in any way, please hit the subscribe button and also hit the like button so this video can reach more people. Also, if you like this video, comment below. Let me know what was your favorite thing, or if you have any techniques or things that I missed in this video that you use. Now, if you want to support this channel, there's a couple of ways you can. You can go and check out my website, travisdykesmusic.com, to where if you make a purchase of any of the products on there, this channel will get a kickback to bring you more videos. And also, Check out my affiliate links that are in the description below, to where if you make a purchase through any of those links, this channel also gets a commission to bring you more videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.